You know, I've been working with older adults for many years now, and there's something I keep hearing that makes me stop and think every single time. People often say, "I just hope I make it to 82. And you know what? That breaks my heart, because you deserve so much more than just hoping. You deserve real chances, real health and real life. That's exactly why I'm sharing this with you today. Let's start right here with something that feels small but makes a big difference: how much you move throughout your day. You might not realize it, but sitting too much can slowly take away your strength, your balance, and even your heart health. As we get older, our muscles get weaker faster than we think, and our circulation slows down if we sit for long hours. That's why even short moments of movement can help your body. Keep doing the things you love. You might feel like it's too late or that it won't make much difference at your age, but trust me, I've seen how small steps bring real changes. I remember working with George, a retired accountant from Ohio. He was 74 when he came to me, worried about how hard it had become to catch his breath just walking to his mailbox. He used to be very active when he worked, but after retiring, he slowly started spending his days mostly sitting, watching TV, or reading. It happened so quietly, he didn't even notice how his body had changed until that day on the porch, when he had to sit down halfway to the street. We started small, standing up every hour, taking a short walk inside his house, even walking around the kitchen while waiting for the kettle to boil. Little by little, he felt stronger. He told me one day with a big smile, "I walked to the park and back without stopping once." That's the moment I knew he had found his rhythm again. What often helps is to set a gentle reminder, maybe a little note on your fridge or a timer on your phone, to get up every hour and take a few steps. It doesn't have to be fast or far. Just moving a little more than yesterday already makes a difference. And here's the best part: you're never too old to start. Your body remembers how to move, and with every step, you remind it that you still can. Movement is life, and you're very much alive. Now let me bring you to something that might not seem dangerous at first, but can quietly steal your joy and even your health: being alone too much. Loneliness doesn't just make you feel sad. It affects your heart, your memory, and your body's ability to fight off illness. I've seen it so many times. When people stop seeing friends or family, when they feel like they have nothing to look forward to, their health often starts to slip in ways they don't expect. And I want you to hear me on this. You are not meant to go through life alone, especially not now. Let me tell you about Martha. She's 77, from a little town in Indiana. After her husband Jack passed away, she stayed home most days. She stopped going to church, stopped calling her old friends, and told herself it was just easier to stay in. She didn't want to bother anyone, but over time the days felt longer, the nights felt heavier, and the silence in her home felt louder than ever. One day her daughter signed her up for a walking group at the local senior center. At first she didn't want to go, but she showed up anyway. There she met Linda, a kind woman with the same laugh as her best friend from years ago. They started walking together twice a week, then having coffee afterward. Martha told me later, "I didn't know how much I missed hearing someone say my name." That one step brought life back into her days. One of the simplest things you can do is pick up the phone right now and call someone you trust. It could be a neighbor, an old friend, or even someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Just hearing a voice, making a little plan to meet for coffee or a walk, can open the door to feeling connected again. Please remember, the world hasn't forgotten you. You are still part of this big, beautiful life. And sometimes all it takes is one small hello to remind you that you still matter. Because you do. All right, here's another thing I see far too often. People thinking that getting by on just a few hours of sleep is normal when you're older. I want you to know it's not. Your body still needs good, deep sleep to repair itself, to keep your heart healthy, and to help you stay clear-headed and steady on your feet. Without it, your memory starts slipping. Your mood can get heavy and your energy fades little by little. It's not just feeling tired. It's your whole system asking for help. And you deserve to feel rested, not worn out. I once worked with Robert, 69 years old, from Denver. He had this habit of staying up late, watching TV, and telling himself he only needed 4 or 5 hours of sleep. He used to laugh and say, "Sleep's for the young." But the truth caught up with him. He started feeling foggy during the day, forgetting small things like where he put his keys or why he walked into the kitchen. His blood pressure was creeping up too. One day, after almost falling while getting out of bed too quickly, he told me he knew something had to change. We worked on a simple routine, turning off the TV an hour earlier, switching to a calming tea instead of coffee in the evening, and keeping his bedroom dark and quiet. After a few weeks, Robert started sleeping 7 hours again. He told me, "It feels like I got my brain back." And you know what? He really had. What often makes the biggest difference is setting a gentle bedtime routine. Turn off screens about an hour before bed. Try a cup of herbal tea or listen to soft music. Make your room quiet, dark, and cool. These small steps tell your body it's time to rest. Sleep is your body's way of healing. You are worthy of deep, peaceful rest. Even if it's been a while, you can start again tonight. You deserve to wake up tomorrow feeling just a little stronger. Now let's talk about something I hear people shrug off all the time. Food. I've eaten this way my whole life. Why change now? I get it. Changing habits feels hard, especially when you've made it this far. But here's something many people don't realize. As we get older, our body needs different fuel. Too much salt, sugar, or heavy foods can sneak up on your heart, your blood pressure, and your energy. You might not feel it right away, but over time, these foods wear you down from the inside out. And the good news? A few small changes can make a world of difference without giving up everything you love. I think of Dorothy, 80 years old, from Tampa. She used to laugh about her sweet tooth. Every morning started with pastries and every evening ended with cookies, but she started noticing her blood pressure climbing and her legs swelling. She brushed it off at first, thinking it was just age. But after one scary night at the emergency room, her doctor gently told her it was time to make some changes. We started small. Dorothy began swapping her morning pastry for a handful of berries and a slice of whole grain toast. She kept a small bowl of nuts on the table instead of candy. Little by little, she noticed her energy coming back. A few weeks later, she proudly told me her blood pressure was finally steady again. She didn't give up sweets completely. She just found balance. And that's what helped her feel like herself again. What often helps is adding, not taking, away. Add a little color to your plate. Some berries, a few slices of cucumber, or a small salad on the side. Swap one snack a day for something fresh or crunchy, like an apple or a handful of almonds. It's simple, but it works. And remember, food is one of the ways we care for ourselves. Every little choice you make is a quiet promise to your body. You're worth that care. You're worth feeling good in your own skin again. Let me share one. More thing that comes up so often when I talk to folks your age, the fear of going to the doctor. I understand it, I really do. No one wants to hear bad news. Sometimes it feels easier to just ignore the little pains, the changes in how you feel, and hope they'll go away on their own. But here's what I've learned after years of listening to people's stories. Waiting too long can turn small problems into big ones. And the truth is, catching things early often means they're easier to fix. Seeing a doctor isn't about facing bad news. It's about giving yourself the best chance to stay strong and keep living fully. I'll never forget Henry, 71, from Tulsa. He used to tell me all the time, "It's nothing, I'm fine." But deep down he was worried about the tight feeling in his chest that showed up now and then. He didn't want to scare his wife, so he kept it to himself for months. One day, after climbing just a few stairs, he had to sit down and catch his breath. That's when he finally called his doctor. Turned out it was his heart trying to warn him. Thankfully, the doctor caught it in time. Henry started treatment right away and made a few simple changes at home, cutting back on salt, moving a little more and taking his medication. A few weeks later, he looked me in the eye and said, "I wish I'd come in sooner." He wasn't scared anymore because he knew he'd done the right thing. One of the simplest ways to care for yourself is to schedule a checkup, even if you feel mostly fine. Make a list of little things you've noticed, changes in your sleep, your energy, or your appetite. Bring that list with you. Doctors are there to help, not to scare. Your health is the most valuable thing you have. Facing it with courage is a gift you give not just to yourself, but to everyone who loves you. You're not alone in this. You've got people who care, and you've got today to take that step. I hope something I've shared today touched your heart or made you think about one small change you can try. I'd love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments what felt helpful or what you're ready to do for yourself starting today. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell so you never miss these simple but powerful messages. You're not alone, you're stronger than you think, and life is still holding your hand.